I've been living at my grandmother's house for most of my life. My parents have been gone since I was just a few years old, so she took care of me for about as long as I can remember. I'm not the only one who lives with her, though. My uncle has been mooching off her for longer than I've been alive. He's the creepiest weirdo I've ever seen. He doesn't work or pay rent or clean up after himself. All he does is spend my grandma's social security checks and take 80% of the money for himself. He's the definition of a parasite. What makes him even more disturbing to live with is his obsession with being a furry. It's more than a few trips a year to conventions and wearing a costume for photos. He wears a fursuit more often than he wears regular clothes. He spends thousands of dollars on multiple costumes. The scariest one he owns is this cursed version of Tony the Tiger, and he knows it freaks me out. It's his favorite one to wear around the house just to give me nightmares. As if one creep in a furry animal costume wasn't bad enough, my uncle actually managed to make friends. Every weekend, the same 4 guys come over dressed in their own fursuits and hang out around the house. I've never seen any of their faces because they never take off the suits. When they're not hogging the TV, the 5 of them go into my uncle's bedroom and lock the door. Then, for the next few hours, they pretend to be animals. They always make the loudest noises, too. I can never have friends over on Saturdays because I don't want to explain why there's barking and meowing and howling coming from the hallway. Years ago, my grandma used to be able to keep those lunatics in check. Unfortunately, she was diagnosed with dementia. So ever since I was in middle school, I've had to fend for myself as my uncle had gradually taken over the house. Since my grandma spends most of her time in bed, there's nobody stopping my uncle from doing whatever he wants. Once he realized that, he started forcing me to put on a Tony the Tiger fursuit and join in on his cultish little furry meetings. I tried to refuse, but he threatened to stop buying food for me. I had no other choice. Now my plans for Saturday are always the same. Put on a Tony the Tiger fursuit and spend 6 hours in my uncle's bedroom, crawling around on my hands and knees, pretending to be a dog with 5 fully grown men. I get bossed around by Tony the Tiger, who's the only one of us that's allowed to talk. If I ever do anything other than bark, howl, growl, or whimper, I get surrounded by the other 4 and they act like they're going to rip me to shreds. Knowing that all 5 of them are more than twice my age makes it even worse. My biggest bullies are 40-year-old men who treat me like the weakest dog in the pack. There's never any break from it, and every time we do it, my uncle gets even more unhinged. I think he's actually starting to believe that he's Tony the Tiger. I swear it's causing me psychological trauma. It's the most degrading thing I can imagine having to be put through.